It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here. Shaq's here. Kenny's here. Welcome to this edition of 2K Sports. And it is Raptor basketball tonight as the Toronto Raptors go up against the Brooklyn Nets at Barclays Center. And for Brooklyn, the results have been excellent for them over the first half of the season. And it has to be said, they're not showing any signs of slowing down anytime soon. It has been an interesting ride thus far. Kenny, some teams really improving after a sluggish start.
Yeah, well, credit the people running those franchises. Always look to improve. That's what you have to do if you're a franchise head. You can't just sit back and say, hey, we're going to accept this mediocrity.
No matter what your record is.
No question.
No, the season is a marathon, not a sprint.
Let me write that one down.
Just keep trusting yourself.
The season is a marathon,
not a sprint.
Not a sprint.
And then make sure you put Shaq-Stradamus.
Shaq-Stradamus.
Did you actually make that up?
Something that was already said many moons ago.
I've never heard that before.
You're acting like it's your original thought.
It is my original
I've never heard that before.
It's not a marathon, it's a sprint. Yeah, get away.
Who said that before? I've never heard that.
Oh,
I got one for you, Ernie.
What's that?
E equals MC tripled.
Ah.
I've never heard that either.
No, nobody has ever said that either.
Think about it, though.
I've thought about it all I want.
I did the math. It doesn't work.
From Brooklyn, New York, and the home of the Nets, we're broadcasting live from Barclays Center. And as we start the weekend here on this Friday night, 2K Sports welcoming you to NBA basketball. With Greg Anthony and Hall of Famer Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. And we're pleased to have on the sidelines tonight, David Aldridge. Taking a look at Toronto, this is an important game for them because they've really been struggling. Just one win in their last 5 games.
And I think for Toronto, they're one of the NBA's mystery teams this season. One that dropped from being elite just a year ago to now looking more like a mid-level squad.
Yeah, it's been a strange year for them. Early on, they got away from the formula that brought them all that success a year ago, and were just never able to get it back.
We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, guys, the fallout from the Nets trade with the Celtics in 2013, of course, is still being felt all around the league, and GMs are very reluctant now to surrender first-round picks unless they receive major league talent in return. Nobody out there wants to be embarrassed, Kevin, on or off the floor.
Yeah, some lean years in Brooklyn, partially as a result of that transaction. David, as always, thank you. Well, tonight a battle between two very talented front courts, Doris. This could get pretty physical.
Well, this is a night, Kevin, to me, where the officials could dictate the level of physicality. They know that both teams have big, burly guys up front, that these guys like to engage physically, and so how is the game officiated? Particularly at the start, that could set the tone for what could be a cage match.
Personally, do you like those kind of games, Doris?
I like a certain level of physicality, Kevin. I do think that we've cleaned up the perimeter game. I think officiating is such a nuanced deal that the best officials understand innately how something should be called.
Let's check out Toronto's starting lineup. They've got Powell, also Lowry out there. Johnson is out there with Marc Gasol, and it's Siakam in at the 4. Now, here's Lowry. 11 feet away, and that one drops.
Kevin, I think they've got to put a higher priority on defending Lowry in the mid-range. This guy's going to burn you every chance he gets.
Irving kicks to Durant. Five on the clock. Allen finds Durant. Off target from outside. And about a minute gone here in the first quarter. Now here's Powell. 20 points for him last game against Philadelphia.
That's his first personal foul.
On defense, the Nets. Gasol kicks to Johnson. Right side, Lowry. Shot clock at 5. Over Irving. Rebound, Brooklyn. This, their first look at this year's Toronto squad.
A division battle. These two squads play each other 4 times this season.
Top of the key. Jordan. It's good on the putback.
One thing never changes in the NBA. Jordan will always be there among the top offensive rebounders in the league.
Now, here's Lowry. He isn't playing a big part of their offensive scheme, averaging around 15.5 points a game. Johnson against Durant. Now here's Powell. He's guarded closely. And here's Gasol outside. Drills the three-pointer. Gasol's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. The Nets have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. And this Toronto team has started to depend on threes more often for their offense.
You're right, Kevin. They went from being near the bottom of the league in threes attempted to top 5 in attempts this past year. And a lot of that is the green light to shoot from the wings that they have. It's another dynamic to an already potent scoring machine.
Here's Gasol, following the bucket by the Nets. Knocks it loose. Wants to get it to Powell, and does. Shoots the 3, and the Raptors hit again from deep.
Oh, my goodness. Almost no space to get that jumper off. But Lowry, he doesn't need a ton of space.
Outside Durant. And the layup's good off the glass.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Right, because otherwise you're going to give up those close-range opportunities all night. If you allow the opposition to get into a groove, look out.
Here's Powell. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket, and it's good for 2.
Well, this guy very capable of capitalizing close to the rim. Norman Powell making an impact inside.
Irving looking for an opening, and it goes down 2 points.
And defensively, this is a nightmare. He's already on a roll.
Greg, the defense better start to disrupt his rhythm, or it's going to be an awfully long night for them.
So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto. Changes for Brooklyn. Prince is checked in for Allen. Harris comes in for Kevin Durant. And Dinwiddie subbed in for LeVert. A new group in now for the Raptors. Serge Ibaka, he's checked in for Gasol. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson comes in for Stanley Johnson. Jeremy Lin, he's checked in for Norman Powell. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Kyle Lowry. Hollis-Jefferson, good.
Well, we know this. Jeremy Lin knows how to run an offense. His ability to find the open man, uncanny.
Well, last year, pretty much a lost year for Lynn. Tore his patella tendon on opening night, and Doris, that was it.
Yeah, that was hard to watch for Jeremy Lin because you know he's put in the time and was penciled in for a big role with Brooklyn. So nice to see him step back between the lines and continue playing.
Here's Lin, following the basket by DeAndre Jordan. Toronto working the ball around now. Here's Siakam. No good on the triple. And so it's Harris who will bring it up for Brooklyn. They trail by 1. Here's Prince. And they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a 3-point play.
Oh, great production on the interior right now. 8 straight from inside. And looking at Prince's game, he could be the ultimate complementary player. A good shooter, doesn't need a ton of touches, solid enough on defense, and is showing signs of improvement.
One shot.
And with Prince, his versatility between forward spots also is an asset to the team.
And when I called Prince a complimentary player, I didn't mean it as a slight. Just plays with an approach and style that fits well with any team and any leading scorer. Players like him tend to have a long, productive career in our league.
It's the Nets now after the missed 3 from Serge Ibaka. Irving kicks to Prince. No good on the triple. Toronto's gone 3 of 5 from three-point land so far in the ballgame. And stolen by Prince. Fires the 3. A three-pointer is right on target. Dinwiddie's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. 2 for 1 opportunity here if they want it.
And no doubt, Kevin, if I'm them, I go for it.
Prince against Land. Back to Siakam. Passes it to Van Vliet. Looking to end the run, and he hits the jump shot. Nets leading by 3. Here's Irving playing Oklahoma City. He was nearly unstoppable. From deep three-point range, and that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter of play. Nets lead by 3. Live from Brooklyn, New York, you're watching 2K Sports. Marc Gasol so appreciated by his fans, and certainly a lot of Spanish-speaking fans excited about his success.
It's fun. You see more fans on the stands that speak Spanish, even they're from Spain or Argentina, Mexico, wherever they're from. They support the Spanish-speaking people, and they love the game also.
And great to see so many different cultures and countries embrace the game.
Yes, and with players like Gasol having so much success, I think it helps give those Latino and Spanish-speaking fans a connection to the NBA.
And close game underway so far. We'll see if either of these teams can jump out in the second quarter. And guys, what stands out to you from the Nets in this one?
I love the fact that they're getting so many of their points at the rim. Just a solid first period.
Well, Greg, playing bully basketball on the block. Every opportunity they've wanted at the rack, they've got it.
So the Raptors 5 right now. We've got Hollis Jefferson. Jeremy Lin is out there with Ibaka. And it's Van Vliet in at the point guard. Here's Dinwiddie. Prince in the corner. It's stolen. Lin against Harris. So they take the lead. Lin's got his first points of the night.
And another lead change. The fans are really getting their money's worth here tonight.
Well, this is what they pay to see, right? Competitive, close games are simply the best to be involved in.
In the past, it has been suggested, Doris, that up-tempo teams couldn't maintain that style and then go on to win the playoffs. Is that an outdated theory and thought process?
Well, I think it is always contingent on the team, Kevin. If you think back to the Lakers Showtime era, when the reality is those were up-tempo Showtime-type teams, right? They could sustain it. But I think the fact of the matter is the teams that sustain success are the ones that can play in virtually any style. Can they play up-tempo if you allow them? Certainly. But when the game slows, particularly in the playoffs and the postseason, can you execute in the half court? Because you've got to be able to play both ways, I think, to win in the modern NBA.
The Nets making a switch here. Allen's checked in. Then for the Raptors, Marc Gasol comes in for Pascal Siakam. And it's Powell in for Jeremy Lin. And both free throws good for Prince.
There's that accurate touch of his at the stripe. He is locked in.
Van Vliet passes to Ibaka. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. Here's Kuruc. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. It's Powell on the wing. Back to Van Vliet. Ibaka outside. Drains the three-pointer. Ibaka's got the lead up to 3 now for Toronto.
Well, Serge Ibaka is a self-made stretch four. That guy added that dimension as his career unfolded.
Prince kicks to Allen. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. They get Marc Gasol. The Nets shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
Taurean Prince taking 2 shots.
Shooting 2.
And that one falls for Prince. So for the Nets, Kevin Durant's checked in for Kuruc, and it's LeVert in for Harris. Raptors also changing it up. Johnson, he's checked in for Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, and Kyle Lowry subbed in for Fred Van Vliet. And he makes both free throws.
Well, you think about the Brooklyn Nets and Kenny Atkinson having a tough task of rebuilding this organization. It is still feeling the effects of the trade that stripped them of so many picks. But give Kenny credit for embracing the challenge and knowing there's a long road ahead.
Now here's Powell. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Shot clock at 3 for 3. Rebounded by the Nets.
Nice timing to get up on that shot.
Boy, you can't ask for better defense, Greg. Excellent work getting right into the grill of the shooter.
Here's Dinwiddie. 8 points his last outing. Here's Durant. Up and in. Off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field. And with Atkinson and the Nets, he said it feels like the team is a startup.
Right. Atkinson has taken a more hands-on approach with the team. He works out with the group. He does weightlifting with them. He wants to build the idea that the team is striving towards something together.
Here's Lowry. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket. Powell for 3. Connects from three-point range. Powell's got 5 points so far.
Absolutely critical that Norman Powell expand his range. The more he makes that 3, the more the floor opens up.
And that's out of bounds. Brooklyn will retain possession.
And you love the effort. Just getting the hand in there and knocking it out.
You love that they're making their presence felt on the defensive end. You can't afford to be careless with this team.
The Nets making a switch here. Irving's checked in. Here's Durant. Gasol with the rebound.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Yeah, that's a surprising miss, Greg. I have a feeling if they get that shot again, they'll knock it down next time.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Outside Durant. To the inside. LeVert. It's Irving, top of the key. Gasol with the steal. To the paint. Here's Lowry. The shot is good. And so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Durant against Ibaka. Back to Irving. Outside Durant. No good off the front iron.
The D slow to rotate, and he misses out on an easy chance from mid-range.
And now that final debt, Doris, has been paid, it must feel like a huge relief for Nets fans to be done with that trade they made with Boston.
Well, you hate to say it, but trading for KG, Pierce, and Terry back in 2013 turned out to be a disaster for the Nets. Probably set the organization back a good 5 years. They must be thrilled to be out from under the weight of that mistake.
Here's Irving, following the basket by Marc Gasol. Will it go? Buries the jump shot. And it's 6 points for Kevin Durant.
Well, Kevin Durant's looking at the defender like, hey, if you're going to give me that, I'm going to take it.
Durant against Lowry. Kicks it to Ibaka. The shot missing. Some solid defense there from Irving. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
It's deflected. That one's good, and the Raptor lead is cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from Kevin Durant.
I think you could see early on that he was really with a rhythm and flow tonight, and now he's really starting to take off.
Now, here's Lowry. He's got 7. Over Irving. Lowry finds Johnson. Just 4 to shoot. Just his first attempt. Allen with the rebound. And even 3-on-3 break. From the line, the offensive rebound. Some solid defense from Ibaka. He gets it up. He can't get that one. And some good action through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. It's the Raptors up by 4. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Kyrie, they got themselves going in the second quarter. How do you get control of the game back?
It starts with not getting the ball out of the net. You know, we got to get stopped, and it starts in that end. That's where it's really going to start for us. And we just got to continue to compete. That's all.
Kyrie, thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Good to have you back. Ernie Johnson with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. The first quarter for the Raptors was fairly even. They kept at it on both ends of the floor, and at the end of the period, they had a slight deficit of 3 points. There were a lot of positives for them to take away from the second quarter, where they came from behind to take a 4-point lead at the half. And taking a look at the Raptors, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, so far they won the battle of assists. They played more patiently and very unselfish in the first half. Good shot selection and nice flow of offense.
And over to Shaq. What do you think about Brooklyn?
The way they were getting rained on from 3, they're lucky to still be in this. In some cases, it was shooters making contested shots, but in others, it was defenders leaving shooters wide open. You can't do that. Bottom line, their perimeter defense was lax, and that needs to change, and that's a fact. What was rhyming, Ernie?
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks for joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. We've seen Kevin Durant really having a great game.
And through the first 2 periods, it seemed he got to the paint whenever he wanted to, just a slasher's mentality.
You know, my favorite thing, Greg, I think he showed no fear in attacking the defense. He got on the interior with ease.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Allen. Then it's Kyrie Irving. Then it's Durant. And it's LeVert in at the 2. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn. Here's Siakam. Johnson kicks to Powell. Toronto needs to get off a shot. Johnson, that's for 2. That one's not going to go. The Nets go the other way with it. Next up for them, the Knicks, a road game in New York. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. Irving passes to Durant. That one's good, and the Raptor lead is cut down to just 2 points with the bucket from Kyrie Irving.
Oh, no defense right there for that shot from Irving. Released so quick, especially off the pass. You know, what you love about Kevin Durant is he has established himself as a top 2 player in the NBA. But the reality is he's never forgotten where he's come from. His charity work, his commitment to the communities and to the places that have shaped him, it's really kind of cool, Kevin.
Jeremy Lin, he's checked in for the Raptors. Siakam kicks to Lin. Lowry against Irving. 5 to shoot. Lin, that's a 2-pointer. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. And in 2013, there was a series of commercials calling Durant the nicest guy in the NBA.
Well, let's remember, Kevin, at that time he was a beloved figure in Oklahoma City. He remains tight with a number of staff members there just because of the kind of person and the kind of professional he was. What you love about Kevin Durant is he's a top 2 player in the NBA. But in terms of his charity work, he is right there as well. So it's Toronto now, following the 3-point attempt by Kyrie Irving. Well, everything starts with a great pass, right? That's really pretty. On the wing, Irving. And stolen by Kyle Lowry. Siakam kicks to Lin. He hits the back iron and sinks the shot. And it's a 7-point Raptor lead. That's an example of great communication. He knows the spot to get to, and the pass is waiting for him. And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. You know, Doris, the ability to beat the defender off the dribble, so important. Who do you think has the quickest first step right now in the league that you've seen personally? That's a great question, boy, Kev. I'll tell you some guys I wouldn't want to have to contend with on a night by night. No way I want to try to guard the wizardry of Kyrie Irving, right, or the flat-out end-to-end speed of John Wall, or the incredible explosive athleticism of Russell Westbrook. The deceptive nature of James Harden's game. Please, child, please, I don't want any part of any of those men. You're getting riled up here. Both teams deciding to change it up.
And taking a look at some numbers here for Kyrie Irving. He's been on a remarkable tear this past month. 6th in scoring, 8th in steals, and such a great distributor and decision maker, among the top 10 in assists per game.
And you noted it, his points per game average is unreal right now. He's literally propping up the team's offense, scoring whenever they need him to. What a recent stretch it's been for these players. They're the NBA's leading scorers over the last 10 games. 5th on the list, Kyrie Irving.
Quite a role he's been on. I mean, a pure scoring display. Eventually, teams might find an answer for him, but that's not been the case here lately.
And he knocks down the first one. Well, after the Raptors fell short of their goals last season, you knew they were going to be changing some things up. Well, obviously the first big move was moving on from Dwayne Casey as the head coach. And you think about Dwayne had brought the best years this franchise had seen, and they still felt it was time for a shift. Now, it's not necessarily his blame. Sometimes you just need to hear a new voice when you've ended in the playoffs the way they have over the last several years. I tell you, as good as he is at the line, it allows him to invite contact when he's down low. Van Vliet looking around. Outside for Gasol. Just 5 to shoot. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
3-pointers are killing them at this point, and they haven't been able to respond at the other end.
Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Raptors leading by 8. To the paint. Whoops, they pick off the pass. And here comes Harris leading the fast break. He's looking for Jordan and finds him. Hammers the alley-oop through.
And any lob to Jordan is about as sure thing as you can get. So athletic for a big with tremendous hands, and big fella knows how to get in prime position for those alley-oop feeds.
Here's Siakam following the basket by DeAndre Jordan. Outside for Gasol. Pass to Lin. Trying his luck deep. A rebound by the Nets. Jordan's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Shoots. Good on that shot, and with that, the Toronto lead is cut down to just 4 points in the bucket from Karuch. And so Van Vliet will bring it up for the Raptors. Next up on the docket, the Bucks following this one. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. The pass to Gasol. Ball's knocked loose, and throw the ball out of bounds. Jordan touched it last. Let's see what the Brooklyn Nets have coming up. On Saturday, they'll tip off a road trip in New York where they'll take on the Knicks. Then on Wednesday, they'll face off against Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers.
And for that game against the Hawks, it's going to be an all-out battle. And you just hope they are rested and able to execute their game plan, as it's going to be a tremendous challenge.
Toronto calls timeout.
And really, whether you're up or down, it's a game of adjustments.
Well, I like to see them mix it up a little bit. You've got to keep the opposition off balance.
Spencer Dinwiddie's checked in for Kyrie Irving. And Toronto also making a switch. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Marc Gasol. Here is Lin. Taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now he averages about 9 points a game.
Well, it's been an up and down quarter for him on the offensive end. Mostly down, though.
Now here is Harris. 4-point game. Pass to Karuch. Poked loose, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Nets will retain possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east already. We are in December. You take a look at the Nets. They've got the #1 record in the conference, and because of it, each night out, their competition is going to bring it right at them. And, of course, the Toronto Raptors, 7 games back.
And for the Raptors, hanging where they are, right in the middle of the standings, will not make things easy for them down the stretch.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, this is where the pressure really starts to build. Any little slip-up between here and the end of the season, and they could find themselves sitting at home for the playoffs.
Here's Van Vliet. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game.
I'll tell you, you're not going to find a much more confident basketball player. He always believes the points are going to come.
Siakam far from the most skilled player on the floor, but Dorsey finds minutes through his hustle.
This guy has got one of the highest motors in the league. He can leak out in transition, finish in the open floor. I'll tell you, this is a jolt of caffeine in a power forward's body.
And Toronto making a change here. Powell's checked in. 1:21 left to play here in the third. Here's Karuch, down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Dinwiddie, buries it from 3-point range. Dinwiddie's got 6.
You have to respect the jumper of Spencer Dinwiddie. If you don't, he will rise and fire.
Here's Van Vliet. 51 seconds left in the third quarter. Ibaka, no luck.
And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
Feeds to Harris. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. And now just a 1-point Toronto lead.
And a good opportunity here to go 2 for 1.
Let's see what they do here, Greg, right? Because you know they want to get a couple of possessions out of the time left.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Upside Prince for the lead. Good. And Harris gets the assist. He's got 10.
3-point shooting since the half has been about as good as you could ask for.
Here's Van Vliet. Passes it to Hollis Jefferson. Back to Van Vliet to end the run. Hits it from 3-point range. Van Vliet's got his second bucket of the night.
And that was a real quick comeback there. Both sides showing some range.
But both teams are pulling the trigger right now, showing great confidence from behind that arc.
3 quarters of play in a close game here. Raptors lead by 1. And coming up as soon as we return from break, the fourth quarter gets underway. And it's time to bring up the State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
We call that, Greg, putting it right in the pocket, and he knew what to do with it once it was there.
And I know I speak for all of us when I say I can't wait to see what kind of finish awaits us here in the fourth quarter. Okay, now let's reset our lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this fourth quarter. Setting the floor for the Raptors. Norman Powell is out there with Lowry. Then it's Johnson. Then it's Ibaka. And it's Siakam in at the 4 slot.
And in a game this tight, a few plays either way can start to turn the tide.
No, exactly. When it's this close, both teams are fighting hard. This is what you want to see.
Now here's Powell. And Siakam has it in the corner. No good on the 3. And so it's Durant with it. He'll bring it up for Brooklyn. It's a 1-point game. Here's Dinwiddie. While recovering, Dinwiddie passes to Durant. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Pass to Siakam. Back to Powell. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. And Allen with the block. Durant, the pass to LeVert. Outside Durant. It falls through, making him 6 for 11 in the game.
Boy, there is an ease with which Kevin Durant plays the game. This guy knows I can score from anywhere right now.
Lowry finds Ibaka. Toronto working the ball around now. Back to Lowry. Shoots. And right through it goes.
Well, this is the go-to play for Kyle Lowry. The pick and roll, he has got it down.
Timeout called, the Nets.
Start it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Brooklyn Nets.
DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving comes in for Spencer Dinwiddie. And Toronto also making a switch. Gasol's checked in. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Hey guys, I was able to catch Kenny Atkinson's message to his team. He really got after him in the huddle. He said, look, you can rest after the game. You got to put it all out there if you want to win this one. Back to you guys.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Irving against Lowry. Johnson right side. Poked away. And so the ball out of bounds. Jordan touched it last. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Clock at 2. Lowry. Here's Siakam. And that's good. A nice job in the glass as they pick up 2 on the second effort.
On the attack, he has that ability, trying to close this one out.
I'll tell you, that's the killer instinct you need to have. You love the attacking mentality near the cup.
Now here's Durant. Back to Irving. Inside, here's LeVert. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
One shot behind the lanes.
To me, Karis LeVert has tons of upside. This is a 6'7" guard with an outstanding skill set.
Lowry kicks to Gasol. Back to Lowry. Puts up a 3. Rebounded by the Nets. Durant's got his 4th rebound in this one. In the corner, Irving with it. They get it back. And Jordan gets it to go.
And the shooting percentage Jordan records from here is insane. If you get him the ball in a good spot, he usually finishes.
Toronto calls timeout.
Well, I mean, he needs to talk to his guys. The interior defense has been horrific.
Absolutely no rim protection whatsoever. At this point, the other team is walking all over them on the inside.
Now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Taurean Prince.
And his focus, guys, has been laser sharp, and his touch from the field, flawless. The teammates have worked hard to get him the ball in some good positions, and boy, has he rewarded them with a spectacular shooting performance. Great call to keep running all those sets for him.
Here's Durant. That's in. He's 7 for 12 now in the game.
Boy, KD just lethal on the drive to the rack, and he gets a head of steam behind him. Forget about it.
Gasol against Jordan. And Siakam has it in the corner. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Siakam's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And those are the types of shots down the stretch that win you ball games.
Inside, here's Durant. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in.
Boy, the strength of Kevin Durant is a thing of beauty. How about the ability to stay under control as he gets bodied?
Bounce pass from Lowry. Here's Gasol. And good. Got the English that time as it falls.
And just great offensive execution by both sides, leaving nothing on the table.
What an offensive clinic we have been given today. They're hitting every single thing they put at the rim right now.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
Well, there's no doubt this guy's on a hot streak right now. That's why he keeps getting the ball in this one. They're like, hey, we're going to feed the hot hand.
Now, here's Lowry. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. Three from the inbound.
A terrific job from Irving to track his man the entire way and bother that shot.
To the middle. It's tipped. Gasol with the steal.
Can't waste a second now. And even then, there's still little chance.
No, exactly. They've got to act quickly. They don't have a ton of time to work with.
Now here's Durant after the Marcus Omas. Allen. And slam dunk by Allen.
Running up the score, showing no mercy.
At this point, they're completely overwhelming them. The opposition looks totally defeated.
And Toronto will go for a different look here. Eric Moreland's checked in for Siakam. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson comes in for Johnson. Jeremy Lin, he's checked in for Norman Powell. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Kyle Lowry.
One shot. One shot.
Free throw, good. Allen.
Boy, now it's just a matter of getting to that final whistle. Those free throws should wrap this up.
VanVleet passes to Gasol. He can't hit that time. Excellent D there from Allen. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Inside. Harris kicks to Prince. Irving up top. 6 to shoot. Harris outside. Brooklyn needs to get off a shot here. And again, it's the Nets missing. Here's VanVleet. Off target with his three. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. And once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. With DeAndre Jordan, you were a big factor inside tonight. How important was it to control the paint?
You know, we just wanted to set the tone defensively for our team. We knew that they had some great guards who, really penetrate and break defenses down.
Well, you took a lot of that away, DeAndre. Thanks for your time. Kevin?
All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long.